Okay, hi guys, and before we get into the show, I just thought I'd point out something rather interesting. So I'm watching the old stocks, and have a look what ad pops up. Now, of course, here we have the Nighthawk, which I really do highly approve of. Really great watch. A friend of mine has this piece. Fantastic GMT aviation piece from Citizen. But below is the dear old, our beloved, dear old Flighty, the Flightmaster. It's quite interesting. It's going for $250. Now I paid $120 for mine, slightly used on eBay. But I wonder if now they've stopped making this particular model. It's got that awful bracelet. I hate the bracelet, but you can change that out, obviously. But it's quite interesting. I wonder if Seiko have stopped making that, and I wonder if the price will go up. Anyway, guys, let's get on with the show. Right, let's get started. Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. Today I'm finally gonna get to do State of the Collection. Long time overdue. I do apologize. I had scheduled this 6 months intervals. The last one was in January, so I was gonna try and do it in August. Of course, I had my lung thing, and then I had a few weeks of delay because I was waiting for this bad boy right here. Now I'll do a quick wrist shot. Fantastic angle because we get to see the sunburst effect, that azure rich dial plays with the light. And of course I've got it on one of my Wrist Candy Watch Club NATO straps, and this is a rather preppy kind of number, but I thought while we're in that kind of American Psycho-esque theme, I thought I'd continue it with this rather preppy little number from Wrist Candy Watch Club. They are my recommended NATO strap supplier. They also do a whole fantastic new stuff which I'm going to present to you very, very soon. Now, before I talk about watches that I still have, we'll start with the watches that have gone. And please, guys, don't be offended about some of these, because I know some of you have bought these watches because I rated them highly. And please bear in mind that I stand behind everything I've ever said about a watch. Just because it's not in my collection anymore doesn't mean I don't respect it. I just simply can't afford to have everything. First watch I sold was the Oris Aquis. And yes, I know, shocking news. My 40mm grey Oris Aquis, it just, with the Zin and the Squales, I just wasn't wearing it enough, and at the time I needed it to fund other watches, and I regret it immensely. I regret it immensely. Now, I think had it been blue, I probably wouldn't have sold it. I adore the Aquis, the Oris Aquis blue, as you guys know, but it only comes in 42mm. The grey is very, very nice, but I always wanted the blue. Now, the integrated rubber strap is fantastic. In fact, I would say it is, and I think I've said this, it is the best rubber strap on a watch that I've ever had the experience of. I think it's done by the same people who do the same rubber straps for my beloved Squale. So it really is a great rubber strap. In fact, it's better than the rubber strap provided on the Squale. But my problem was it was integrated. I couldn't swap out, put a NATO. My choices are to either keep it on the rubber or buy a bracelet, and I didn't really want to buy the bracelet, so I was just stuck with the strap. And it's very, very nice, but I'm a NATO guy. I gotta say, I'm a NATO strap guy, and you know, I love changing out the straps. I love playing with the different colors and different options, but the Oris Aquis is still one of the best divers for around about $1,000. I think the Squale just nips ahead now, and you know, I stand by everything I've said about the Aquis. It's a great watch. You know, if you're not into the Squale 1521, get an Aquis. I think it's the best diver around about $1,000. And actually, I think it's probably the best diver from about $1,000 to $2,000. That kind of, it's nipping at the heels of the Seamasters, really is. Hell is that? Do apologise. Okay, the second watch, now we just mentioned it, the second watch I sold is my Seamaster 300. I bought that watch after I sold this one, thinking this was a surrogate for the 300. And I really love the coaxial ceramic 300. It's a fantastic watch, but with my Submariner, with my Zin, with my Squale, it too was kind of a little bit left on the sidelines, and I really wanted that money. And it's funny, I don't regret selling that one at all. I have no remorse about selling that one. Which is funny because its pedigree and its caliber, its ranking really is higher than the Aquis, and in many ways it's far superior to this. But I just love this, you know. And you guys are going to give me a lot of flack for this, but I would pick this over an Omega Seamaster any day. I just connect with this more than I do with the Seamaster. I love the Seamasters, don't get me wrong. The Seamaster, the Omega Seamaster, is one of the watches I've actually owned the most of. I owned the original midsize, I've owned the quartz both in blue and in black, I've owned the chronograph, I've owned the automatic pre-coaxial, then I owned the coaxial. So that's 6 Seamasters I've owned in my collecting lifetime. That's more than any other watch. So when I say, in a way, I'm a kind of, not a connoisseur, but I know my Seamasters. Oh, I'm not mentioning the vintage one. So that's 7 Seamasters I've owned, including the vintage one. So you know, I know my Seamasters. I love them. Don't get me wrong, but I've kind of done that now. You know, I would consider buying. Oh, and the GMT. I had the GMT. Wait, sorry. So I've had 8 Seamasters in my collecting lifetime. That's more than any other watch. So trust me, I know the Seamasters. So, and I don't miss it at all. It's really strange. It's a great watch. I love the ceramic bezel. In fact, I prefer the ceramic bezel to the one on the Submariner. I'm not saying it's better. I just prefer it. Well, I wonder why I don't have any remorse over selling the ceramic Seamaster. I wonder if it's because I'm so familiar with the Seamasters that in some kind of way I'm always connected to them. And I think that's probably the first time it's happened where an inferior watch, well, I don't consider this inferior, but what should be an inferior watch was actually a surrogate for a superior watch. So it's very strange but you guys know I'm infatuated with this, and just so happy to have this back. Anyway, so Aquis gone, Seamaster gone. What else went? Well, the Speedy reduced. It went, and that one I really do regret. I had to do it because the Seamaster, the Seamaster and the Speedy reduced went to fund my new Speedmaster. Because my thinking was, instead of having 2 kind of entry level Omegas, I'd sell both and get a really brand new super duper Speedy. And I don't regret doing that move, but I do regret selling my Speedmaster reduced. Having an automatic Speedmaster is just so cool. It's just so practical. Also, it's small, 38mm was just just pure class. It had the sapphire. I really regret it. I had to do it for the financial, to get my money together for the new Speedy. I think I might, in time, another medium-term plan will probably get to buy back another Speedmaster reduced, which is crazy because that would be my third buy. And this time I think I'll get the Heselite pre-sapphire version with the extra numerals on the dial, and we'll see in a moment with my current collection where my new Speedy kind of fits in. It's taking on a more dress role. Yeah, I do regret selling the Speedy reduced, but I'll get it back. Okay, another sale that might shock you guys is that I sold my Orient Star. And it's funny, I said it was going to be a keeper. The Saab, I would always pick the Saab over it. And then I got the Hamilton Instamatic or Instramatic, depending on where in the world you are. And that really has kind of filled that gap. So the Orient Star was just made a little bit obsolete. I do still stand by everything I said about that watch. It is gorgeous. And I do miss the power reserve. I wish my Seiko Saab had a power reserve. I think if my Seiko Saab had a power reserve, it would be perfect. It literally would be perfection. That one was a little bit painful. Long Island watches has them for I think between 300 and 400. It's not that expensive, so I'm not staying awake at night haunted by it. I am a little bit about the reduced stuff. I think about my new Speedy, and I've done the right thing. Then of course there's my Datejust, which I am in the process of selling, and it's taking forever, and it's at a really good price. I do not understand why it's selling. It's a really competitive price. This is my Datejust 116200. It's in mint condition. It's been in the safe. It's literally a safe queen, and it served as a dress watch, but it's been made obsolete by the Saab, by my new Speedy, by my Tudor, by my Hamilton. It's just, I don't really need it. I want the money to buy a Breitling and possibly another Rolex GMT next year, possibly. So it's got to go, and it's very sad to see it go. It's my third Datejust. It was the culmination of quite a long trial and error search of Datejusts, but it's one of those watches that you buy, you covet and buy because you want it, but not actually, you don't end up wearing it. It's a very strange thing. So I've got to be true to myself. I've got to be real about it, and I've just got to sell it and buy something that I am actually going to wear. It's not going to sit in the safe. So that's on eBay right now. If you're interested in buying it, let me just get the price. If you're interested, guys, send me an email and I'll forward you the eBay link, and you can have a look. But as I said, it's mint condition, real pristine mint condition. It's the 116200. It's all steel, smooth bezel with Romans on the dial. Actually, I've got a video. You'll see it if you look in my archives for Datejust. It's there. It's a fantastic watch, but it's been made redundant. I'd have more fun with the money buying other pieces, so that in that regard, I think it's safe to say it should go. Anyway, guys, enough talking about what has gone. Let's have a look. Let's change perspective now, and let's have a look at what has stayed. And here we are, the collection in formation, almost complete formation. There are two pieces missing. And off the bat, I'll just quickly tell you about them. There is, of course, my Charles Frodsham pocket watch, which is a solid gold original. It's my grandfather's pocket watch, and it is really the star of my collection. Horology piece, heirloom piece of quite important significance, and for obvious reasons, I don't keep it with my main collection here. It's back in England, tucked away in a safe. Along with my other piece that isn't here, which is my Datejust, the 116200, which I'm currently in the process of selling. Now, as we'll go through my collection, you'll probably understand why I'm selling it. So here we have 13 pieces. We have 3 G-Shocks here, 2 new acquaintances, and of course my trusty Mudman, which is my favorite G-Shock of all. Then we have the Riseman, which is a returned favourite, which I'm really pleased to have. It gives you pressure readings, as you see in that little circle there. Pressure's rising, and it's about to rain, which is very accurate. So it's tough solar and has an altimeter as well, so it's a dual sensor. Fantastic piece, and really happy to have it back. And then of course my third, which I haven't explored at all. This is the Frogman, and somebody said it was the granddaddy of all the big G-Shocks, and it certainly is a beast. Really cool engraving on the back. So obviously, you know, it's a kind of diving watch. Absolutely fantastic. So we'll get into this in due time, but it's the newest arrival really. So interesting triple threat of G-Shocks here. So then we got the main bulk of the collection, which is probably the 3 Squale. If I just move my Submariner out of the way for the moment, put the subby over there, dear old subby. So then we have the 3 Squale divers. Now I'd like to point out the Holbeins is here for a reason, and so is Wrist Candy Watch Club. All the NATOs featured in this video are from Wrist Candy Watch Club, and all the straps are from Holbeins. I'm not paid in any way to include this. This is purely my recommendation. I want my viewers to get the best they can, and these are 2 companies that I support. I wouldn't recommend anything unless I think it's fantastic value, and I've got to say I really like the NATO straps from Wrist Candy Watch Club. They're very, very soft. These are actually their first edition. They're improving the design slightly, and I actually consulted on the designs. The NATO straps featured are all from them. Anyway, let's just carry on. My 3 Squale, and they're all on NATO. So we got my heritage piece here, which has become almost, I guess it's my wild card watch at the moment. Completely different color coordination and color scheme than I usually go for. I really like it on this sand NATO strap. Absolutely adore this watch. Beautiful 40mm size. Then we have the 2 iconic 1521s. We have the all black PVD, absolutely stunning. The stealthy, I call it, my little stealthy. And then of course the newest acquisition, or rebuy I should say, in honor of Jeff over there. This is the polished with the blue, or Azzurro I'm calling it, my Azzurro blue. And I've just dressed it up on this very preppy style. I'm really having fun with this. I've got some fantastic blue NATOs, but we'll get into that later on. Anyway, so those are my 2 1521s, and that's the bulk of the collection really, the triple Squale there. Then we got the kind of more dressy watches, which are the 2. We got the Saab here, which I've just put on this brand new strap from De Beer. This is De Beer from Paris, and this is available in Holbeins, by the way. I absolutely adore this watch. Just listen to it whine. Oh, just gorgeous. That little needle hand. It's got the looks of a Grand Seiko, but with a fraction of the price. A great, really reliable, fantastic movement in the back. Absolutely adore this watch. And I know I've said black doesn't really go with blue, but it's such a snazzy watch. I think this watch can go with any colour it likes. So I'm trying it out on this De Beer lizard grain strap. So looking forward to wearing that. And then of course my other dress watch, which is the Hamilton Intramatic, or Instramatic if you're in Europe. People have called me out on getting the name mixed up, but it's a different name for different continents. I don't know why, but it is. And I've just put it back on its bracelet because I just adore this bracelet. And actually I'm wearing no watch, which feels really weird, so I want to hurry up, get this finished so I can put a watch on. Yeah, so my 2 dressy watches, and you can kind of see why I don't really need a Datejust. I mean, I've got these 2 fantastic, absolutely fantastic pieces. ETA here, and an in-house Japanese movement here. So really, that's my dress watches sorted. And then I've got my super duper dress watch, which my best dress watch, which I'm saving for special occasions, which of course is my Speedy. Now I know it's a tour watch, I know, but if you watch my recent review, you would have heard me go on about its kind of slightly more sophisticated, its retro vintage stylings really lend it more as a dress watch now. And yes, I've got it on a NATO, but I think it's okay to wear a jazzy NATO with a sports jacket. If I was going to wear a full suit, I'd put a leather strap on it. And again, we got the Wrist Candy Watch Club NATO on it. Just really play this. I mean, this goes with anything. I thought it would be quite cool with this kind of goldy, kind of sandy yellow and black. I just think it's really cool. So that's my super smart dress watch. That so you know, these are my kind of casual dress watches, and then I've got, this is my super dress watch. And then of course I got dear old Subby, poor old Subby. He's been it hasn't been forgotten about. This is a very special watch for me. I bought on my 30th. It served as the backbone of my collection for a very long time. It's seen off a lot of other watches. Quite banged up, but it's been on many adventures. But I just adore this watch, and I just love the new ceramic sub. I just can't get enough of it. It's a definite keeper. So my dear old Submariner. Just put Subby back there. Then we have Zin 104, just a great all-round watch, day date, 200 meter water resistant, German made, absolutely stunning with this fantastic, it is a Sellita, but it's one of their better Sellitas. I hate to say it, but this is actually one of my most accurate watches, which is pretty crazy. A bi-directional countdown bezel, so it's not, it's reversed, so which is really cool. Fantastic little screws there. It's just a great all-round watch. And again, I've got it on a strap from, this is a Hirsch carbon fiber strap, water resistant, again from Holben's. Just a great all-round everyday tool watch. There is something slightly blank pan-ish about it. Just absolutely adore it. Look at those syringe hands, absolutely gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Just an all-round winner. And this really has kind of seen off the Aquis. It's rather sad, but just the fact I can put a NATO and it goes pretty much with anything. So that's the Zin. And then lastly, the little darling of the collection, the little vintage piece, my gorgeous, if this will ever focus, hello, come on, there we go. My little Tudor Prince date, and just look at that arrow hands. You only get the arrow hands with this dial. Just very lucky to find one in such good nick. Vintage piece, little whole case there. Just a fantastic kind of, it's like an Explorer, but halfway between an Explorer and a Datejust really. And my first Tudor, and I absolutely adore it. I just love those arrow hands. It's just so cool. Date window there. I've still yet to review this, and I will do this soon. Really cool bracelet. I didn't anticipate the bracelet being so nice, but just the little polished center links, and this really was a bit of a risk, but it paid off. Since then I have opened up the back, and I'll be sure when I review it to let you guys have a look at the beautiful little ETA in there. It's a small one, but it's retro, great condition, just fits me like a glove. It's going to be too small for a lot of people, but for me, I just adore it. With a t-shirt and some jeans, what more do you want? So I'll put that back there for a moment. Then I have my other aviation piece. Actually, the Zin 104 is kind of half between a diver and an aviation piece, but this really is an aviation piece all the way, with its slide rule, its bi-directional slide rule here with fuel consumption, all the rest of it. Has a two-handed subdial there with a dual time. Right now it's telling me the time in London, and then the main dial I've got New York time. Beautiful screw down pushers, and then a lovely, it's a quartz piece, but the actual main chronograph has a really cool sweep to it, and I just love this piece. Affordable, robust, has this kind of retro, kind of domed hardlex. I just love this piece. It's been in the wars, got some scratches and dents, and you know, I've dropped this, but it's still going. And actually, those tiny little lume pips are amazing. I mean, it's got that Seiko lume in it as well. So. And an alarm. You can't really see the two hands on the subdial, but trust me, it has two hands. Dual time is fantastic. Just a really great, affordable aviation piece. So yeah, that's the collection, guys. It's a bit of a quite an eclectic. Actually, now it's got it out all together. It's quite eclectic, isn't it? It's not. I thought it was quite boring, but it's turned out to be quite more dynamic than I thought it would be. Anyway, guys, let's take it back to the studio. Okay, welcome back, guys. Now, I hope you enjoyed that. I'd really like to hear from you down below in the comments what Breitling, one of my medium-term plans, if you saw the last wristwatch talk, what Breitling you would recommend to suit this collection. I'm looking at trying to get something at 40mm. I'll accept a 41, it's pushing it, but 40mm or below. So I'd really like to hear your suggestions about that. Also GMTs, any GMTs that I might have missed. I mean, we've discussed this quite a bit, but fairly certain the Rolex Pepsi pre-ceramic is the one to get. Also, the Seiko SKX, I am definitely going to add that to my collection. Those of you who have expressed interest in the project, in the special edition, the Urban Gentry special edition, stay tuned. I'm going to do a special video just for that, to address that. I'm going to come up with an action plan, breakdown of prices, and kind of figure this out. And also I've got to approach some of these established modding companies and see if they want to get involved. A lot of you have already emailed me, so just bear with me, and I will do a video precisely on that in the coming few weeks. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed my state of the collection. It'll be really interesting to see how it changes. I think I will do another one, possibly. I think it will be next year. Okay, guys, so I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it and found it useful, and I'll definitely catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.